Downtown is looking nice and clear skies, but it is breezy. It is Wednesday morning. Glad you're up with us here at 6 o'clock on 13 Sunrise. It's been a breezy last couple days. You'd think that we'd be used to it by now, but we do start off your day like that again.
Yeah, I was going to say breezy. That's what you call this. This is ridiculous weather out here, but also want to show you some of the damage from yesterday's storms. So this was up north in Grant County. The sheriff's office there in Sweetster and Marion say they took a beating. Look at these cars, back windows shattered, another with a lot of cracks, and easy to see why from the size of this hail. Oh my gosh. So glad this didn't happen to everyone yesterday. In fact, it kind of stayed to the north, it looks like, of Hamilton County. Well, welcome in here at 6 o'clock. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Julia, along with Julia and Matt here this morning. And yeah, if you got the rain yesterday, because you say not everyone did, it was a downpour in some areas.
Got the hail. Sorry about that. That was really a golf ball size hail. Are we going to have some of those types of conditions today, Matt?
A few storms could have golf ball size hail. Not every storm. And then plus, again, not everyone even gets a thunderstorm in the first place. It's going to be that storm lottery. But I think, again, our northern counties have the higher chance. This map shows you the estimated rainfall, where we got a good quarter to even up to an inch of rain in some spots. There was a good swath of that heavy rain and some small hail and some gusty winds right through Indianapolis, really hitting, though, the northern suburbs from Brownsburg to Zionsville, Whitestown, Carmel, Fishers, Noblesville, even up towards LaPel, and then continue to chug along through Newcastle and towards Richmond. But our biggest complex was in our north central counties, all the way through Carroll, Cass, and Miami, Howard counties. But some of the biggest hail fell right around Marion over yesterday afternoon with those golf ball sized hail reports. Here are the reports. You can see most of the hail was farther to the north. My goodness, it was falling around Peru and Kokomo yesterday. We have another storm risk coming up later today. Level 2, Indy to the north, level 1 to the south. Very spotty in coverage, I think, south, but a couple more severe storms are possible farther to the north. But once again, not everyone's guaranteed to get some rain and storms. As this whole boundary with unsettled weather gets closer slowly throughout the day, your rain chance will gradually go up. So coming up, I'm going to show you the rain zones throughout the day and who has the highest chance for some rain and at roughly what time. We'll plan out your Wednesday for you. But coming up, let's talk about traffic now. No big crashes or accidents. Things are flowing all right. Pavement's dry. You may still run into some construction. Of course, lots of construction zones this morning. We're checking on them. Traffic's flowing fine here on the northeast side. All right. And then on the north side, this is US 31 by 465. We're flowing all right this morning as well.
All right, thanks so much, Matt. Well, this morning, a man we know is in critical condition after a shooting on Indy's near west side.
This was last night around 10:40 on Emmerich Lane, not too far from White River Parkway. IMPD officers found a man shot at the Union at 16 apartments. He was taken to the hospital and reported to be in critical condition at last check.
Now, we will continue to talk to investigators about the incident, try and find out any more about a possible suspect or a motive, and obviously keep an eye on that victim as well. Well, this morning, a deadline is coming up fast to get a referendum on the November ballot.
If it could impact your child's schooling and what you pay in taxes, especially here in Marion County. Marina Silva is in downtown Indianapolis. There's a new education board just formed that is really hitting the ground running. Marina, good morning.
Well, good morning. It's been a pretty contentious topic here in central Indiana, the forming of the Indianapolis Public Education Cooperation Board. And now there's no going back. The board held their first meeting last night. Now, IPEC's role is to help stabilize funding. They'll oversee how tax dollars are spent and resources are shared between Indianapolis public schools and charter schools. The board is 9 members. Now, per state law, 3 are current members of the IPS school board, 3 are leaders from the local charter schools, and the last 3 are from the banking, nonprofit, and legal sectors. Now, their first task, convincing voters to pass a property tax increase come November. The proposal is driven by an expiring referendum and financial shortfalls. Now, according to IPS, they're slashing $7 million from next year's budget.
As we move through this, we're going to learn things that, one, we're probably going to have to go back to the legislature and fix. We are standing up also a municipal corporation from the ground up.
The board approved startup funding and outlined plans to oversee transportation, facilities, and accountability across IPS and charter schools. Now, getting the oversight board up and running, that was the first task. But how much of a referendum and how long it'll last, that's a question this team still needs to figure out. Now, coming up at 6:30, I'm taking a look at what is ahead of Indianapolis Public Schools and what their financial documents are saying. So stay tuned.
All right. Thank you, Marina.
A federal judge just issued an order to block an Indiana law that banned the use of college IDs to get into the voting booth.
So this means as of right now, college students, you can use your student ID in the May primary. Groups filed a lawsuit soon after state lawmakers approved the ban last year, but District Court Judge Richard Young granted this now preliminary injunction.
The suit claims the law puts unconstitutional burdens on students. Students had been able to use college IDs as long as they had a name, photo, and valid expiration date. Well, the Marion County Clerk applauds this decision.
Here's a look at the statement she released, saying in part, quote, "There are people who are working to silence the voice of younger voters, and this part of the law was an attempt at that. I'll continue fighting each and every day to ensure every eligible voter in Marion County has access to the ballot."
Well, we did reach out to Indiana's Secretary of State, Diego Morales, who is named in this lawsuit. We also reached out to the state attorney general's office that has defended the ID law in court.
When and if we hear back, we'll pass along their responses.
Well, this morning there is major relief coming to Indiana families who've been relying on money from the state to send their kids to childcare.
When that money was paused, it was a big issue. Governor Mike Braun has just announced a $200 million investment to now expand that voucher program in the state that was paused for a while. Anna Chalker has been on this story since yesterday's big announcement. She's telling us now who qualifies for this voucher and even how some are reacting to this news. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. It's going to be 14,000 more kids that are going to be enrolled into this voucher program, and they can go to daycare without any worries on this. And the families that have been waiting, it's been a long time for them. 15 months. That's the moment when the state first froze these federal funds for the families in the voucher programs, but now they've got some relief. So the kids that are going to be selected off of this, there are some qualifications for these families. They're going to be coming off of a long wait list, and they are siblings of current voucher holders, infants, toddlers, or 3 to 5-year-olds. That means enrollment for the CCDF vouchers will be back up to 57,000 throughout the state. And we spoke with an early childhood education consultant. She says this announcement is overwhelming and really has been a long time for them, but she just hopes all families and providers will feel some relief.
These kids are finally getting served. They're getting the things that they need. The providers are going to get enrollment. The teachers are going to feel better about being at work. They're not going to be worried like, am I going to have a job tomorrow?
This $200 million from the governor will be invested into the Financial Responsibility and Opportunity Growth Fund, or you may know that as the FROG Fund. That'll expand these vouchers to these families. So if you are going to get one, you expect to hear from the FSSA if you were chosen by late May. And this was not only impacting the families that were waiting on this wait list or not even applying because they felt they couldn't even get one. The providers are feeling an impact of this as over 300 closed during this 15-month freeze. So coming up, you're going to hear from one of those providers who had to go through this and why she's saying she is still excited for all these families who now get this opportunity, even if that means she's not going to be opening her own center back.
Yeah, I imagine it's hard to just pick back up where you left off there. We'll check in with you soon, Anna. Thank you.
Well, before you head out this morning, make sure you put on a hat because, well, maybe not. I don't know.
It might blow off.
Away too.
You won't own it much longer. We need a weather report from Anna. It is breezy out there, but we are dry. We'll stay mainly dry for a while, but eventually rain and storms will move in. As the day goes on, the rain chance does go up. So coming up, we'll time out when you can expect some of those storms.
All right, Matt, thank you. And 2 U.S. House representatives are handing in their resignations. We'll tell you who and why after the break.
The blockade of Iranian ports putting a halt on goods coming through Iran. We're breaking down the first full 24 hours of that blockade when we come back.